Hello and welcome to Nathan, but the truth. Why? Why? That's all I ever see is on social media because that's my only interaction with you folks is you guys ask them the question, why? Why? Oh my God. Do you realize that that's something I've never done in my life? And one person asked me, they said, you seem so knowledgeable and so intellectual and all this and that. And they thought I had multiple degrees. I told them, well, I don't. And they said, but you could pass yourself off with having multiple degrees. And they said, I don't understand it. What is it about your deliverance that make people think that you're so knowledgeable? I said, because I don't ask why. I learn. I keep my mind open to learn, but I never ask why, especially when it comes to human behavior. I seek knowledge, but the why, it to me it shows a sign of ignorance. Because when you look on social media and you see these black folks, or you see these on the main media, um, you see all these pundits, media pundits, and political pundits, and they're all asking, well, why are these people going to vote for a man who's done this, that, and they just go on and on and on, and they ask why over and over and over again. I'm going to answer your why very simply, and then I'm going to go into detail. So here's your why. Okay. If you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best black man, he won't notice you're picking his pockets. Hell, give him somebody to look down on and he'll empty his pockets for you. That's a quote by Lyndon Baines Johnson, probably the guy who orchestrated the assassination of John F. Kennedy. Okay. And he's ended up becoming president of the United States because at the time he was vice president. But he was a very racist white supremacist from Texas. And he was answering a question when he delivered that quote. He was answering a question of how he was able to get all those, what they call Dixiecrats, to vote for him or to stand with him in his political agenda. And that's what he told. He said, this is how I did it. I realized that their hatred of the black man, the brown man, the yellow man was so intense that if I played into that and made them feel like they were better than the black man, the brown man, the yellow man, then they'd give me whatever I wanted because I fed into their disdain. Because if you remember, it wasn't John F. Kennedy that broke Jim Crow. It was Lyndon Baines Johnson, the man I just quoted. Okay. He was essentially working for the industrialists from the North who needed black dollars. Okay. Because back in the 50s, they had planned a long time ago, 10 years prior to what he was able to succeed. They worked on 10 years to destroy Jim Crow. because the American dollar would go in the black community and die. It never came back out. They had black banks, they had black insurance companies that backed the banks, underwritten the banks. Okay, they had their own hotels, they had their own service stations, mechanic shops, beauty shops, tailors, retail stores in all your major cities, especially. And for the rural blacks, they would go to the major cities to spend their money in those black establishments because they weren't welcome in white establishments and white America. And the North was hurting. Okay, the economists they were screaming. Wall Street was about to go under. They needed currency. They needed cash flow brought in. And that's why they did away with Jim Crow, because Jim Crow was killing them. Okay. Wouldn't allow blacks to spend their money, and they needed that black money. And right now, in the global system, the US black dollar is what finances the world, keeps the world afloat right now. Blacks decided to go and take their money and do it their own, there would be a catastrophe happen. Okay. My friend Ben Carson said if you took 40 million and ran them to the bank in the United States, you can shut down the World Bank through collapse. That's the power of black folks in the United States of America. And so Jim Crow had to go. Okay. And what happened? All the black dollars left black businesses, went to the white businesses, and now you have what they call Jim Crow 2.0. And people are angry about it. Why are you angry about it? You're so happy to get rid of all those black businesses and go and be accepted by the white populace. And you, in your mind, still think that you are a part of this system. So the why is that Donald Trump came on the scene. He offered them what they needed, hatred. He said, hey, I'll make America great again. I'll make America white again. I will give you guys power to feel good about yourself. Because imagine what that white clerk feels like at that convenience store. And she's standing there, and here Shanae and Shaniqua, they both pull up, one in a BMW and one in a Mercedes Benz, and they get out in business attire, and they come in to purchase their gas and to buy little knickknacks to take to the house to their kids. And that white clerk who's living in a trailer park, who got multiple baby daddies, Bubba and Billy and Bob, okay, running in and out of there. All they doing is drinking beer and shooting up the place. And this is her life, uneducated. And then she sees these powerful, multi-degreed black women standing there. She's sick to her stomach. She's been taught all her life she's better than these people. And now here she has to look up to them. She has to wait on them. And she'll mistreat them. She'll say things to them to upset them. And Shaniqua and Shanae, out of stupidity, start arguing with her because she's showing them some racial discourse instead of realizing why. Feel sorry for her. I I did it before. I swear to God, I was at a truck stop. I was traveling, and I was at the truck stop, and the lady just treated me so bad. Okay. I needed to get money, okay, off the wire. And she was just as nasty to me. And I told her, I said, I understand. I said, because you're half generation out of the trailer park. You just a bottom feeder, ma'am. And you have to see me getting out of a $60,000 goddamn pickup truck with money out the yin yang, and I'm getting $1,000 off the wire just because I just want to go on and get me a nicer hotel and some food to eat. Pocket change. And that woman got so angry and was cursing and screaming. And her boss even came out and she was cursing and screaming at him. You gonna let him talk to me like this? And I told her boss, that's exactly what I said. I said, this is put away trash. You got her up here mistreating people because she sees them as better than her. That's the problem. Well, the boss just looked at me and kind of smiled and walked away. He didn't want to have nothing to do with that fight. That woman was sick to her damn stomach. And that's the way y'all should do. I told her I felt sorry for you. Shit, if I spend all my life and everybody telling me I'm better than somebody, but when I'm looking around, proof ain't in the pudding. So these people, they know Trump ain't gonna do a damn thing for them, but let them hate you. He's telling them what he's going to do to you. He ain't doing nothing for them. They're going to give up something that I have never experienced, and that is constitutional protection. There's a constitution, and then there is the 10 amendments to it. And they're giving all that up because he's going to get rid of it. He's already said in order to complete his agenda, he has to get rid of that. Okay? He has to get those are things that hold him back from doing what he need to do. And what he need to do ain't got shit to do with them. Okay? I walk down the street and there's thousands and thousands of videos of black men, black women, police arresting them, okay, charging them, beating them, killing them, all in violation of their constitutional rights. See, they don't have constitutional rights. There's guys that are called constitutional auditors. They're all white. You won't see a black one. And they make millions of dollars because police will violate their constitutional rights. But a black person cannot go into the court system and file a lawsuit against any police officer, any prosecutor, or any judge, or any municipality claiming his constitutional rights was violated. But that same constitutional right violation against a white person, the case goes forward because a black person in America has no constitutional rights. And I've been screaming this for the longest. So now that these white folks have given up their constitutional rights, and you guys keep asking, why? You know this man is crazy. You know this man has lost his faculties. You know this man. It has nothing to do with that. Of course they know. I know. You know. But there's something else at play. If you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him somebody to look down on and he'll empty his pocket for you. That's the why. That's the why. You guys, wake the fuck up. This doesn't have anything to do with you. This election, because when Trump was in office, you did have a Rodney King. A Rodney King kind of fiasco. It was George Floyd. Okay. But when Biden took office, you had a whole bunch of them, thousands of them. And not one time did his attorney general step in to take a case against the police for out murder. Okay. I have videos that I go to on YouTube. You turn on the video and you'll see a man walking down the street. Police step up, boom, shooting. And say, I thought he had a gun. And it'll be in a state like Georgia where you're allowed to carry a gun, but the man didn't have a gun, but he gets killed anyway. Nobody steps up and arrests that. policeman. Just recently, last week, a black man, his wife pulled over on the side of the road. He was sick, okay, very sick. He was throwing up blood and he needed medical attention, but she pulled over so he could get some air. And so the police pulled up. And so police said, well, what are you doing? He said, well, my wife is taking me to the hospital because I am sick. He turned his back to the police and started walking to his van. Policeman pulled out the gun and just shot him. Google it. It happened just last week. The man didn't die, but he just shot him. And the police kept saying, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Like he made a mistake. No, he didn't. He pulled that gun out, leveled it on that man, and just shot him. Said, I thought he had a gun. His back was to you. He had walked away from you. He had a napkin in his hand with blood on it. He was clearly sick, bent over, stupid, walking, but he murdered him. And there ain't nothing happened to that man because that black man is not a citizen of the United States. By proxy, you could, y'all love to say my rights, my right. But what I always hear y'all say is my civil rights. I got civil rights. Stupid fool. Civil rights is a privilege that can be taken away. And it was taken away in 1973 after it was ratified in 1963. It wasn't re-ratified, put it that way. It was taken away. So you've never had civil rights since civil rights was put on the books. It was only for 10 years and to be ratified every 10 years, and it wasn't re-ratified. It wasn't re-upped. So you do not have civil rights. Stop with that civil rights bullshit. Okay, I'm tired of hearing about it. Constitutional rights is law. You don't ever say, I have constitutional rights. No, you don't say that because you can't. You know that you don't. And if you read the Constitution and read its amendments and went and tried to exercise it, trust me, your black ass get thrown in jail, beaten, shot, killed, whatever. They show you better than they can tell you, whether it's Harris administration, Biden administration, Trump administration. None of them will allow you to go around here and boast about having rights that are called constitutional rights. Now, they laugh when y'all say civil rights because you don't have any civil rights. You can't even name a goddamn civil right, especially one that's in play. Okay? So stop with the bullshit. Your why is that man was able to reach the populace that hates you, that will give up their rights, their constitutional rights, in hopes of hurting you. Okay? Can't hurt me. I've been hungry before. Take food away. Okay. But it could hurt them. Okay? And so I'm okay with seeing them give up their rights and loosen them because, see, the fallout from that is going to be awesome. Because some motherfuckers going to walk around here the IDF is not training city police only to kill black people. It's to control that mob of white men. Those are the danger in America to the American structure, power structure. Because if they get pissed off, you've seen what they could do January 6th. That was just a test run. I don't know if that's something for the United States. Because when they realize that it's their rights they gave up, not mine, because I never had any. Okay? Cut the bullshit. I never had them. They did. They had the right to walk around with guns and assault weapons and all that. You think Trump's okay with that? The people Trump worked for is going to crack down. Okay? And they're going to do a Willie Horton to get rid of the guns. It's the whole network is united. Don't think that Trump and Biden had any difference in policies. Because what did Trump say? Hey, he back in Israel, just like you're going to give him even more than Biden was. Okay. Now, of course, he's going to let Russia do what they want to do with Ukraine, and I ain't got a problem with that. He's going to take United States out of NATO. I ain't got a problem with that because, see, United States cannot be in NATO if they turn around and do away with their constitution. Because, see, NATO is all about democracy. You cannot go into NATO without having a democratic constitution. Didn't know that, did you? That's why he wanted out of NATO. Now he gets to get out of NATO. They going to have to put him out, and they don't want to. Because where goes one goes all is also the motto of NATO, not just the motto of that QAnon and all that crazy shit. They adopted that from essentially NATO's philosophy. Attack one, you attack all. United States ain't in that shit. Nope. Watch what I say. And who it's going to hurt most is going to be France, because France stupid ass want to go over there and mess with Burkina Faso. Okay. They want their minerals back. He ain't going to get it. All right. So stay tuned. You got the why. I answered that for you. Okay. I got a whole lot to share with you in the coming days, but I'm going to be dropping these videos just boom, 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 boom. And posting them, scattering them out. Okay. So this one, you might see this one 3-4 days down the road. Already know who won the election and all that kind of stuff. All right. There's information that I have to share with you guys. But like I do in all my videos, there's my email. Contact me. Okay. Say, hey, listen, my grandpa, he wants to go to the Philippines. You're gonna fly him there, round trip, give him a place to stay, talk him up a bit, chat him up a bit. Yes. That's who I want to talk to. It's not you guys. I'm talking, and I'm sharing a little bit, dropping a little bit of knowledge on you, but I essentially I'm trying to find gentlemen, like around my age and group, and get us all together. We'll come up and we're going to create a police database that's going to be bigger than anything you guys have ever seen on the net. Okay. And not only are we going to have the police database, but we're also going to be doing town hall meetings all over the United States, talking to black men and giving black men a voice. Because right now, you guys don't get to say anything. You don't have a voice. Your black leaders, your black podcast stars and all them fools, they don't interact with you. They get on, it's a one-way communication. They're getting millions and millions of hits and likes. Then you're all getting on there. You can't sit down and hold a conversation with them. They never talk. They're boule. They're bourgeois. Okay? They have no interest in communicating. They have every interest in showing white aggression because they know it gets hits and likes. Black death, it gets hits and likes. They're not interested in interacting with you. That's why it's very important for me to open up these town hall meetings, and we go all over the country. And I mean, we're going to attract millions of black men in doing so because there are millions that have a voice. You guys are mad because some of them black brothers is voting for Trump. Them brothers don't have a voice. They're angry. I don't like the fact that they voted for Trump. I don't like the fact that they voted, period. But especially for Trump. So I'm bothered by that. I think they need to talk. They need somebody to talk to. They need to express themselves. So I'm going to give them that opportunity with these town hall meetings. It's going to be all about them. We're going to come up with solutions on how to deal with this problem that we have with this white aggression and these police that's just killing indiscriminately. So stand with me here, okay? Help me out. You know some old man. Trust me. Have you ever stopped and talked to that old man when you go in the convenience store to sitting down there in the corner over there? Look like he homeless or whatever, and he's sitting up there with his liability. You ever stop and talk to him? Why don't you try? That man will probably sit up there and fool the hell out of you and be saying every damn thing I'm saying. And then you can say, hey, bro, whoa, 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 whoa. Damn, I know somebody you need to talk to. This brother, he say he'll fly you to the Philippines and back. Would you like a trip like that? Because you guys need to talk. Because them brothers are knowledgeable. I've seen people who put them on their podcast, but they won't identify the guy. And the guy is he old like me, traggly beard, and sitting up there talking, making a lot of sense, but they won't share who he is, so nobody can go and access that brother. All he doing is getting hits and likes off of that brother's knowledge base. And that brother don't have a voice where that he could really talk to people. Now he's a million people is hearing him, but a million people don't know who the hell he is, where he's at, how you can contact this brother. This brother got some knowledge he dropping. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you guys, what you do is you go and talk to old Joe. When you go places, go into a McDonald's and you see a couple of old brothers there sitting up there talking. You tell them about me. Say, hey, listen, I think y'all should be talking to that brother. Try it. You might like it. Okay. Hey, listen, I love you. And I'm Nathan. And I'm back. What?